ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drux Milan Unboxing. Now, Saturday night we have a very interesting WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. The champion Demetrius Andrade will be defending against a tough Welshman by the name of Liam the Machine Williams. And that will be going down in the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, California. So Liam Williams seems very determined to become another Welsh world champion. It's a small little country that's produced a number of really great fighters. We can go back to the Ghost of a Hammer in his hand, Jimmy Wild, and more recently guys like Joe Calzaghe, and then we also had the Steve Robinsons and so on. Who is Liam Williams, and is he the challenger for Demetrius Andrade? Yes, I think he is. I think he's a tough guy, and on Saturday we'll see if he's really just British European sort of level, or whether he belongs at the top of boxing. Now, he's got a record of 23 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw, 18 knockouts, so he's heavy-handed, and both his losses took place against 2017 against another Liam Smith. Now, the first fight he was marginally ahead on points, was a barn burner. He got stopped on cuts. The second fight, he lost a close decision to Liam Smith. Liam Smith, of course, we know, went on to become a world champion, became a WBO junior middleweight champion. So he was world class, but not elite, because Canelo Alvarez, of course, stopped him. Now, Williams lost 2 close ones against Liam Smith. So does that show you that he's more British European level, or can he really be world levels? Because since then he's won 7 in a row, all of them by stoppages. And then of course you have to ask, who did he beat? Some run-of-the-mill ham and eggers, but also some decent opposition. He won the British title by beating Mark Heffron, who was an undefeated fighter at the time, if my memory serves me correctly. He stopped him. And also he fought a former world title challenger, somebody who went the distance with Demetrius Andrade, and that is of course Alante Fox, and he stopped Fox, whereas Fox went the difference with Demetrius Andrade. Liam Smith, he's a heavy-handed pressure fighter. If you look at him, give him a cursory glance, he looks very basic, but he does it well. He's got a very good hard jab. He steps in behind it, sort of a power jab. And he works everything from there. Then he throws jab, right hand, left hook. He can look somewhat predictable, but he has more layers to his game against Mark Heffron. He moved away from his right hand, and he showed some movement as well. I think he has improved when he moved to new trainer Dominic Ingle. So I think he has improved marginally. I think he's a solid fighter, and I think he's going to bring it. Now, Demetrius Andrade is a bit of an enigma. He's undefeated, 29-0, 18 knockouts. Very, very awkward southpaw. He stands in a sort of a crab-like sideways stance. He doesn't give you much to eat. He hasn't scored knockouts of galore lately, but he's been up against a bit higher level than Williams, I think. He did score a stoppage in his last fight against another UK fighter, Luke Keeler, but Keeler was completely outclassed. He eventually stopped him in the 9th round. And he also has a penchant for knocking guys down early, but then not finishing them. And those knockdowns usually come courtesy of a straight left or a left hook front from a southpaw stance. He times that punch very well. He's solid. I think he can take it, although he doesn't take a lot of punches. He's one of the guys in world boxing that takes the least punches. The stats in his most recent fights, his opponents didn't land less than 10 punches per round. So it's hard to beat Demetrius Andrade. He's got as I've said, an awkward style. He's somewhere between, for me, he's a South African, our own Tulani Sugarboy Malinga back in the day, who beat Nigel Benn and Floyd Mayweather. He's sort of somewhere there between the two to me. I call him almost a poor Floyd Mayweather, but poor man's Floyd Mayweather. But he can fight. He was an Olympian. Nobody has beaten him so far. It's just damn hard to score on him. But his fights are also not the kind of stuff that get people excited, because he's a defense first kind of fighter. He takes away everything that you've got and then he pot shots you with his jab. He's got a very educated jab, and he pot shots you with a southpaw left. When you force him to fight up close, he's got all the other punches in his arsenal. But I think the reason why he doesn't just knock people out when he does hurt them is because he's defense first. You know, his offense is a bit too economical to get that done. Although he can fight when his opponent forces him to fight. And I think Liam Williams, and that's why the reason why I'm interested in Saturday's fight, I think it's going to be a good Demetrius Andrade fight, because Liam Williams will make him fight. As a couple of years ago, as a junior middleweight, he won 2 belts, WBA and WBO. A couple of years ago, he went to Germany and he fought Jack Kolkai, a popular fighter there in Germany, and he won a majority decision against Kolkai. And Kolkai gave him quite a go in the later rounds. And where Jack Kolkai had success is he simply threw caution to the wind, almost like Maidana against Mayweather, and he just crowded Andrade and just started throwing punches. It wasn't enough in the end. But I think Liam Williams is much more heavy-handed than Jack Kolkai. So it will be interesting, because if Demetrius Andrade, you know, he's a high-risk, low-reward sort of fighter, so he couldn't get guys like Canelo in the ring with him. He couldn't get guys like Triple G in the ring with him. He almost had Billy Joe Saunders in the ring for the WBO middleweight title, but then Saunders tested positive for something, and it went up when it started to become a vacant title fight, and since then he's made 3 title defenses. So this is a fight where either Demetrius Andrade has grown stale on the vine because he didn't have a real challenge in front of him, and often with some fighters, when they don't have anybody really pushing them, they start to slip. They become complacent, their skill starts to slip. Now if that happens, Liam Williams might be the guy to be able to spring an upset. So I think he's a very live underdog in this fight. The other alternative is, what I think might happen is Williams is going to push Andrade. He's going to push him, and when you push Andrade, we'll see him rev the engine a little bit, and we'll see the best of Demetrius Andrade come out. That's the other scenario. So for Andrade, he's going to do what he always does. He's got to take away Liam Williams' jab, because Liam Williams, he tends to work his stuff off a jab. So if he takes away Liam Williams' jab, he's got a half the fight won. It's going to be awkward for Liam Williams. And I'm pretty sure I haven't seen anybody really having success jabbing Demetrius Andrade. So I think that's what we're going to see happening. Williams, he's not going to outbox Demetrius Andrade. I just don't think he's got the finesse to do that. You're not going to outbox a boxer. Can he win a close decision over there in the States? In this instance, I think he can, because Demetrius Andrade is not one of those hyped up American fighters that's going to be a big star with a lot of big fights planned up for the guy in the future. So I don't think that invested in Demetrius Andrade maybe. So he could win a decision, and I think what he needs to do, he's got to throw caution to the wind, and he's going to have to be busy. He's going to have to swarm Andrade, kind of like Kolkai did in the second half of the fight. I know that was long ago and was maybe a different Demetrius Andrade, but he's going to have to hit the body. One thing that he must look out from Andrade is that straight left, that southpaw left, that comes very sneaky and usually early in the fight. So for Williams, he needs to move to his left, away from the left hand of Demetrius Andrade. Avoid that for the early going, and throw that, classic reply to a southpaw, throw that right hand, because Liam Williams has got a very good right hand. I think they might negate these two things out of each other, and then the fight will start. I think it'll be scrappy at times, and that's where Williams has got to come in. He's simply got to turn it into a brawl, and when you do that against Andrade, he will start exchanging with you, and then he's got to hope that he makes a dent in Demetrius Andrade. I do think though that Andrade will make Liam Williams think twice about going in. He hasn't scored a knockouts as of late, but that's, as I say, that's because he doesn't have that huge offensive output. But if I just go by the looks on it, even looking from a screen, he does look like a strong guy, and I do think he hits hard enough to get respect as a middleweight. So I think he's going to tag Williams a couple of times hard enough just to keep him tentative enough. And I think we're going to have a good fight. I think Williams' style will blend well with Demetrius Andrade and give us a good fight. But in the end, as I've said, Williams is a live underdog. If Andrade is not taking him seriously, if he thinks he's in with another Luke Keeler or something like that, he could be in for an upset loss and lose his belt. But I don't think that's going to happen. Andrade is a smart guy. He's a cerebral kind of guy. He would have watched tape of Liam Williams. And I think he'll be on his P's and Q's. And I think Liam Williams will make for a good fight. But in the end, I think Demetrius Andrade would be just too skilled. And I think he's going to win a close-ish decision. I think it's going to be a 3-pointer somewhere like that. But I expect Demetrius Andrade, after a good fight, to still be the WBO middleweight champion. And hopefully he can get something big down the line, like a Triple G, or even Jamal Charlo would be nice for him. But that's why they fight for fights, like Doug Fisher always says. And watch the fight. It is on the Zone. It's the bargain of the year here in South Africa. We have it as well. Subscribe to the Zone and watch the fight there. You can stream it live. And until we see each other again, please keep those hands up.